Hello there, Tracy Noriega, paying it forward to you on this beautiful online retreat, Permission to Choose You. And I'm here with the very gorgeous Christine Michelle. And we're just talking about, geez. Well, I want to say thank you for coming on. I know you had a nice vacation. It seems like a long time ago, but you do look very nice and refreshed. I just want to say.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me because this is such an important topic. Giving ourselves permission to choose ourselves, choose us, and realize that that's not selfish and realize that that is what's needed. So thank you for putting this together and inviting me to be here to chat with you.
Well, you do have those gifts of which I want people out there to know how they can make this shift, because as we were talking about, whether you're a professional woman and you're just driven, which that was me for many years until then I got together with a partner who already had some kids and took on a nephew, and then all of a sudden I was overnight parent. So then it was like went from that to overnight parent, and then I found myself completely doing what I know I used to watch my mom do, and I would get upset, which was she just sacrificed all her time. It was like, well, I got to do this and I got to do that and I have to do this and I got to get this ready and dinner's got to be, and all of a sudden, honestly, with our kiddo, he had some special needs, so we had even more issues because there's a lot of trauma, a lot of that. Everything was coming up. And again, I think a lot of parents do that. You take it on like, what am I not doing right? What am I not doing right? What can I do more of? And then you just keep pouring more and more into it. And you want to solve it. You want to fix it. And all of a sudden, what was becoming a reality was I was driving myself into the ground. Like people were actually looking at me and going, are you okay? And I wasn't. I was getting up in the middle of the night with just the anxiety and all of the problems going on. And, when he got in trouble more at school, then I took it on as like a reflection of me and like feeling like so embarrassed at these parent teacher conferences. And it wasn't until one of the therapists actually said, what are you doing for you? And I said, well, I meditate, I go on my bike ride, I do this. And I thought that was good enough. But she was like, no, what do you do for you? That's your time. And I said, well, that's all the time I have. Like, I get that in every day. And it was like, no. What are you doing to like replenish you, like nourish you? And I couldn't answer. Like, it just seemed so foreign. I was like, well, I'm doing everything. So I know you work with energy and you work with high powered women. You work with, moms too. I mean, the whole gamut. And you do a lot of healing work. And so I would love you to share like your perspective on this about women to stop feeling guilty about putting their needs, desires, and wellness first.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Well, first, let's thank for that woman that came to you and asked you, what are you doing for you? Because there wasn't even that awareness that you thinking that you're doing so much for other people that, oh, that means that I'm doing for me. No, you were doing for others. And that wasn't even looking after what you needed. And so thanks for her for giving you that awareness. But it's so there's a collective consciousness that teaches, especially women, that they're to be the nurturers and they're supposed to take care of everyone else. And then on top of that, you're taught that anytime you do something for you, it's selfish, it's wrong. And so you have women that are in this constant masculine role of taking care of everything. We forget, just because you're nurturing, does that mean you're being feminine and leaning back? No, you're in that doing role. You're doing. And so you're doing everything from this masculine energy, and it's not a balance from being in your being energy. And that is where the magic lies, when women can be in the balance of the being and the doing. And so what I have a funny story about this. It gets to be funny. But I mean, I've suffered from adrenal failure and things like that
Oh.
because I've worked, like ended up hospitalized. They couldn't find my veins because they were so small, and
Oh.
like it was just a mess. But after that, I learned my lesson. No, I didn't. And I continued to work. And so I'm a high powered executive. In addition to that, I'm also building my business. And so I'm building the business that I'm doing now, the Aligned Soul by Anna Hop. And I'm, Facebook, I have clients, I'm doing all the things. And I'm also still 40, 50, 60 hours on the job that I'm working. And so I'm an executive, so I have a big responsibility. I have teams reporting into me. And so I was just going again after adrenal failure. And so I got to the point where I just one day it was weekend, and I'll never forget, it was me and my sister, and I was just like, I just want to experience ease. I just want more ease in my life. And of course, I teach this, and I was like, well, good. I don't need to see the ease in order for me to choose to feel ease. And so I decided that I was going to start on Monday. I had a timer on my phone every hour on the hour while I was in the workplace. I decided that I was going to choose just a little tiny bit of ease. 2 minutes of ease, and I called it time abundance. So that means I have so much free time, and that's what I was going to feel. I was going to let myself be exhausted, let myself experience the fire drills, let myself experience the overwhelm, because I wasn't going to make that go away or fake it or say that's not existent. No, I knew that that's what I was experiencing. And I let myself experience that. But for 2 minutes within that hour of overwhelm and emails and thousands of emails, I would either go into the bathroom, put on my timer, and I would sit there and feel ease and say, you know what? I have so much free time. I have so much free time. And I would just feel into that ease for a minute or two. And then I'd come back to the craziness. It didn't matter if I was in a meeting. It didn't matter if I was in the middle of a conversation. My alarm would go off, and I was committed to say, oh, 1 moment, I have to use the restroom. And then it would go. And it was as simple as sitting or standing in the stall, just hand on my heart, and allowing myself to breathe a little bit easier and feel what it would feel like, or what it feels like. Because in that moment of me tuning into ease, I was feeling ease. I didn't need the outside circumstances to match that. I was choosing it. So fast forward, I've been doing that for 5 days. My boss, he was the vice president, and his name is Jason. Jason comes to me, and Jason's like, Christine, come to my office. And I was like, oh, Lord. I was like, I know I want
too often.
Right. I was like, I know I want a time abundance, but I didn't want to get laid off. Like, what is going on? Right. And so I come into Jason's office, and he's like, Christine, I don't know how we did this. I don't know how we did this. And I was like, did what? Like, what did you do? What's wrong? Like, he's like, you have only 2 weeks of vacation. Everybody else that's reporting into you have 3. He's like, you were supposed to have at least 3 weeks of vacation. And he's like, so we owe you 5 days. Here you go. Take it and do whatever you want with it. And so I was like, okay, thank you. And he's like, yes, we're so sorry. We're so sorry. I was like, okay, thank you. I walk out, and I'm like, time abundance. All right, universe. Yes, God. Woo! It's working. This is working. But mind you, I'm still having the fire drills. I'm still experiencing all the things. My emails were still felt like they were full. But I said, I'm going to keep on going because this is working. And so I start work again. Monday goes. I still do that. Tuesday comes. And then Wednesday comes. So Wednesday comes, and I'm packing up, and I'm like, okay, packing up. And then I look at the time, and I'm like, whoa, it's 5 o'clock and I'm leaving. Like, that was unheard of. And so I said, wait, is this? So I called Tony. Tony reports into me. He's in San Antonio. And I was like, Tony, how you doing? And he's like, oh, boss, hey, I'm good. And I was like, but Tony, how are you doing? You had this and you had this. He's like, things are great. He's like, they all work themselves out. I was like, they work themselves out? He's like, yep, no more fire drills. We're good. I'm leaving in an hour, because he was an hour behind. I was like, oh, that's great. I called the ladies in Canada. There were 4 of them. So I called them in Canada and they were in Toronto and they're packing up. And I'm like, wait, are you guys leaving? I said, well, what about this problem and this problem and this thing you needed me to work on and you need this? And they were like,
Mhm.
no, we're good. They were like, everything seems to have just worked out. They were like, this week has been the best week ever. We're all caught up. We're leaving. I was like, oh, okay. So hang up and then I call my sister and I was like, Kim, do you realize that it's 5 o'clock and I'm packing up and I'm leaving and everything? Like my inbox was all like filed away. I hadn't had a fire drill call and I couldn't even remember when the last one I got. And my sister was like, yeah, Christine, you've been doing that since Monday. I'm like, really? She's like, yeah. So I was like, oh, okay. And so what happened is that I shifted my reality. I chose to just for 20 minutes, right? So it was 10 times a day because it's probably about 10-hour work weeks
Mhm.
for 2 minutes to choose to experience ease. And I started to experience ease on Monday and didn't even realize it because I was choosing to embody ease regardless of the outside circumstances. And so
Okay. Okay, go ahead. No.
I collapsed time and then I was experiencing ease. And then I manifested ease, not only just for myself, for everyone who was in my universe.
Yeah.
And so that's what's important there.
Well, and I love that, but I'm hearing the objections, right? I'm hearing the ladies out there, and I've been there too, where it's just like, you don't understand. I can't. The phone doesn't stop. Maybe
Ah,
you're in the office. Maybe you're working. Maybe now with COVID, you're working at home. You got the kids homeschooling. It's like I can't find 2 minutes to even go to the bathroom without being interrupted. So
but do you
how am
use
I
the bathroom?
supposed to do?
Do you use the bathroom?
Yeah. No.
So you still do. And do
Yeah.
you brush your teeth?
Oh, that's a good one too.
You still do. Do you take a shower?
Oh, the shower's a good place. I
You
do it all
still
the time in the
do.
shower. Yeah.
So I always say your truth is your truth. And so your beliefs are because you've made them true. So if you
Mhm.
continue to keep saying, I have no time, because I kept saying that for a long time, I
Mhm.
have no free time. I'm so busy. I'm so busy. I'm so busy. Until I started to say, I have so much free time. Then that started to, come into my life. And
Mhm.
so what if you say, well, I can't, Christine, hour on hour? That is crazy. I have 7 kids and I have a big job. You out your mind, girl. Then you say, okay, I know there's 4 times that I go to the bathroom twice a day. I brush my teeth and I take a shower. Those will be the times that I'm sitting in there and I will focus on experiencing what I am choosing to experience and then allow myself to go into the madness, maybe scream and cry if I need to, and feel fully the feelings that I feel without saying, I'm okay, it's going to be fine, it's going to be fine, and not allowing myself to fully feel feel the overwhelm, do whatever you feel, but then choose those 2 minutes, that 1 minute, to actually embody what you would like, because there is always time. And every time someone says, I don't have time to do this, then I say, okay, so you didn't eat dinner, you didn't walk away and, like I said, use the bathroom, and you haven't brushed your teeth, and you must not have showered, so it might be a pretty stinky house right there.
Well, here's another one for ladies out there. It's like, are you going into your happy place? Because they may feel, well, I'm just like lying to myself, telling myself that it's, not. So, I mean, how to help them in that 2 minutes make that shift and really go, okay, I'm not just sitting there lying to myself.
Right.
You know?
Well, it's you know what? It's not about, the thing is, you are using the circumstances to make things true.
Mhm.
In the
Right.
2 minutes that I chose to sit and just breathe close, quietly, and feel ease, I was feeling ease. It
Right.
wasn't a
Okay.
lie, and I didn't have to convince myself because I chose to even just repeat the word ease. Say the word ease right now in the midst of this, in the midst of thing. And I know the day's been crazy, but just say the word.
Ease and flow.
And you just experienced it. You just
Mhm.
locked in the frequency of ease just by saying it, closing your eyes and doing it. You're making what's true. Those of you who said, well, I might be lying and I'm lying to myself to say I'm feeling ease. You're making things that because of outside situations and outside circumstances, because of, I like to say um, it's just byproducts of your vibration be the reason why you're feeling there, when it's your vibration is the reason why you're experiencing things. And so instead of waiting to feel ease when everything's easy, you've got to choose it when it's hard. You've got to choose it now. Now, what I'm saying is that you're not going in line and saying, everything's so easy. Life is easy. I don't feel anything. La, 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 la. No, I'm saying you get to experience it. If the kids are getting on your nerves, you get to go in the bathroom and cry. And then after you've allowed yourself to feel and cry on on your bathroom floor, then just sit there and just say, what would it feel like to feel ease? And let your imagination go to a place when you're like, wow, that would feel amazing. Just even choosing to do that for 2 minutes is going to allow you see, it didn't take long for my reality to shift. It was just intentional moments that I was choosing to feel it.
Okay, that's very helpful. So there you go, ladies. You don't have to wait. And I know I fell for that one too. Okay, everything has to be in peace around me before I can feel peace, instead of like choosing, just like happiness, right? I can choose to be happy for no good reason other than I can choose to be happy. Right?
Yes. Just like you can find that one thing you get to appreciate in the midst of something that isn't great. A lot of times we make ourselves feel guilty because of other things that are happening in the world. Well, I can't be super happy because this is happening. Is that bad, right? We use guilt as punishment because we can't enjoy our lives because other people may not be enjoying their lives. And that is not what's necessary. What if you could feel compassion and love for someone, but you also can feel happy as heck in your own life? You can still give you suffering. Like if we can think about it in a very simple way. When your friend is ill, do you go over there to get ill with them so that they can get better?
Well, very good point. No, you try to lift their spirits, if anything,
And you put your mask on and you stay away so that you don't get ill, because you being sick is not going to help to take care of them. And so for you, which is really important, is to remember that you have to stay healthy, well, within you in order to be this amazing light and take care of your families or your business or those people in your life that you love, or, sharing with the world, right? You got to take care of you. And that's not selfish. That is necessary. That is a responsibility. It is a radical responsibility for you to take care of yourself.
Yeah. Well, and you touched on something that reminded me of something I spoke with another speaker, which was, that myth that we're supposed to sacrifice for our family, because that shows how good of a parent we are or a person that we are. Even if you are a professional and you're leading your team, it's like, hey, my team comes first and all that stuff, right? And it's so far from the truth, because then you have nothing to give. And we were talking about how, and if you have anything to comment on that, was by you actually modeling putting yourself first, you're also giving everybody else permission to see that, hey, they may have that initial what? They're going to take time off for them? What? They're calling in, they're taking Friday off or Monday off. And it's like, yeah, but then they come back on Tuesday and they are like, right? Yes. And it's like, yes, we get these days, we get these hours, we get this opportunity, and I'm going to give it to me so that I have more to give to you. And it's not only with your teams, with your kids, when you start to do that. You have anything?
Well, what I wanted to call out is that when you think about how that feels and think about where that came from, right? That thought that I must give because I need to put everyone before me. That comes from a place of sacrifice. And why do you need to sacrifice? Is because there's not enough. So that comes from lack mindset. That's not an abundance thinking. When you think I can take care of me, and when I win, we win, everyone wins, right? When I win, you win, everyone wins. And so that's abundance mindset, because there's enough winning for everyone. There's not one piece of a pie. There's the whole bakery available. And there's several other bakeries that we all get to play on, right? And everyone has their own oven and they all get to bake all kinds of pies, right? And
Oh.
so that's the difference, because when you are thinking you must sacrifice in order for, that is you in lack mindset, because you are thinking I need to give it up because if I have it then, instead of what it really is true is like, I get to feel amazing and they get to feel amazing. I get to take care of me and they get to do well. And when I take care of me, I'm filling my tank and I can serve and be there and be the best boss, wife, mother, friend, girlfriend, lover that, is out there. But it's only when I can take care of me as well.
So true, so true, and so powerful. So, I mean, you shared that experience you had. Are there other little mindset tricks that you would say, or just shifts in perspective? Because that's one of the things I like to present, is that sometimes it's just that, like you said, awareness, that you're not even aware. Like I wasn't aware about, I was under the illusion too that I was taking care of myself. I'm doing my morning meditation and I'm making sure I go on a hike or a bike ride. I'm fine, but there was nothing really filling my soul, and that's the kind of thing I want to, that why I'm doing this too, is like, are you doing something that really feeds your soul, that feeds your spirit, that like brings joy to your life? That, yeah, you may know that nobody else likes to do that, but you like to do that. And also just finding community, like how do you with your community, because that's another thing. Ladies may want to start something, but their friends aren't really on board and they don't have anybody who's interested. And so I know you have a very fun community that I always get so much value from, just like drop in and go, bam, so like to know that they have a place to go where they can foster this and learn this, because you can just say it and then we know it, but do you do it? Do you practice it? Do you, like you said, embody it and be it? So whatever you have to share on that.
Oh my God, so many good things. So two things. Well, let's first talk about the community, because I have the Aligned Soul Collective, and it's probably about 1,300 or 1,400, mostly women. There's some guys in there too. But it really is a high vibe place. It's on Facebook, and you can if you go to thealignedsoulcollective.com, it'll take you directly to Facebook. Or if you're on Facebook, you can search The Aligned Soul Collective and you'll find it.
Put it down at the bottom for them so they can find it easy.
Yeah. So it's a free group, and I normally have master classes in there and do some really great teachings or a lot of posts that help you share what's really going on with you, because it's one of those communities. It's a high vibe community, but it also is a community that really is focused on purpose. It's focused on power coming from your heart. That's your true power. It's focused on play, like really not taking spirituality or anything super seriously, because that is where it goes left. When we take things too seriously, it's really about us coming into this world thriving and playing. And it also is about presence, being in the now moment, surrendering, allowing yourself to accept where you are instead of pushing against things and like creating more resistance. So definitely check out the Aligned Soul Collective. It's an amazing place, and it's filled with high vibe women and men, mostly women, who are there to support you whenever you're going through whatever you're going through, and celebrate your wins, celebrate everything that's going on. So that's number one. Number two, something that this is a collective consciousness thing, right? There's a strong undercurrent that is continuously teaching us that we shouldn't put ourselves first. It's wrong to do it. And you don't want to fight against the undercurrent. What happens when you fight against the current? It pulls you under, right? Yeah. And so what is a beautiful tool that I love is it's Ho'oponopono, which is a mantra that you're saying, I love you. I'm sorry, please forgive me, and thank you. And it's those four words together, those four mantras together, where you're really tuning into love of self and love of the divine, who is also you, and also telling yourself that I'm sorry for the buying into this collective consciousness, buying
Mm,
into not taking care of yourself. Maybe you're sorry because you feel like guilty because you're not taking care of others. Whatever that is,
right.
you just, or you don't even have to know why, you just get to say it, knowing that you didn't really do anything wrong, but you're just tuning into self-love and forgiving yourself. So you're saying that I'm sorry and please forgive me for buying into all of this.
Mhm.
And then you're saying, thank you. Appreciation is the energy of receiving. And so when you combine that with I love myself and really allowing yourself to look in the mirror and tell yourself, I love myself. I'm loving myself. Every day I'm going to love myself just a little bit more. You're really tuning into a cleansing and clearing that's allowing you to shift and move away from that current and choose how you're deciding things get to be, which is you're
Mm.
deciding that you get to choose for you. And that feels good. I'm deciding that this is the way it gets go. And that feels good. And so that is my gift. It's normally to gather those audios. It's like an $11 audio series, but you guys have a special code, I believe, for you so that you can get that series for free, and then you can play it in the background and let your subconscious hear it. And it's beautiful and soft, and it's just a mantra. It's repeating the same thing over and over with some beautiful music behind it, but it really is very helpful. One of my clients used it, and then she started to really talk about loving herself, feeling love in herself, embodying love for herself. And she moved from what was a struggle to having a six-figure day,
Wow.
and that really came from her healing and loving, really tuning into loving herself,
Yeah.
choosing what made her happy, choosing what felt good for her, and being in alignment with the energy and the way it works for her.
Yeah. I think you just kind of hit on something there that a lot of us don't think about is that, when we choose to put our family and, friends and everybody else first, we are doing it out of, this, I guess you'd say, misbelief that, well, I love you. And so I have to put you first.
Mhm.
And it's when you put yourself first, then all of a sudden you feel that recognition too, that, wow, I am important, because it really is nobody else's responsibility other than yours to take care of you, you
Yeah.
know? And they're not there to try to figure out what it is you need if you're not going to express it. So I think that's really, really powerful. I know I've enjoyed that. In the background, sometimes doing the dishes, just kind of putting it on. There's all the stuff going on, and I'm just like, oh my God, I wish I could just like turn it off. And I'll just put my little earbud on and wash the dishes. I'm like, oh, yes, I love you. I love you, plates. I
I
love
love
you,
myself. I love
sponge. It's so true. But that's those moments, and now you just kind of hit on that. And that's another way you can do it on those 2 minutes of ease and flow is just kind of
Mhm.
being with it, right? It's like being in the present, like you said, just like feeling the water and like even being thankful. Like I've done that where there might be a day and we have so many things to be thankful for. And it's like running water does not exist all over the
No.
world.
Yeah.
You
It doesn't.
know, I mean, it doesn't. It's so many things we take for granted, that you just flip your switch on and off that, it's like, so it's like really being
Internet,
present.
they're watching this over the internet.
Yeah,
Everybody doesn't
you're
have that.
gifted. You're
It's a
blessed.
yeah. The
Even
things
when
that
you're broke,
we
you have it.
Yeah, the things that we complain about are some things that people have never seen in their lifetime.
Yeah.
And this isn't to make you feel guilty about it. It's
No,
to make
no.
you feel so appreciative for it and
Mhm.
appreciate it, because these are blessings. They're
Yeah,
amazing, and your life isn't as bad as you're thinking it is,
right.
you know.
Yeah, abundance, abundance. So thank you so much. And I just want to say to everyone out there, the community is really, really, as she says, like high energy, high powered. And, I always know too, I'm like, it'll be funny. I'll go in there and there'll be a post that of just like what I needed to hear. And I'm like, bam,
Yeah.
and sometimes some things are over my head. I got to read a little bit, but I'm like, oh, then you read other people's comments and are like, okay, that's me, you know. But I also want to say too, yes, your webinars and your things that you come out to share, like they definitely will make a shift in you, because as she said, and what I keep saying too, is you can't change anything if you're unaware of it. And unfortunately, we walk around in a big fog a lot of times, just, from day to day. I mean, how many times do we drive somewhere and we don't even know how we got there? We just arrived, you're just on autopilot. You're running on default and your reactions are default. So it's like becoming aware of all these things then allows you that opportunity to say, like you said, I'm going to experience ease and flow, even if it's just for 2 minutes. And I'm going to know what that's like. And as you said, you're just calling that in more and more. And that 2 minutes will grow, right? So
it will grow. And what it did was it collapsed time. It shifted me to where my universe reflected ease back to me. And I was so busy tuning into and embodying ease that I didn't even realize that I was already feeling it and experiencing it, because I was in the same frequency as ease. And so what you get to remember is that in order to feel peace or joy or love, you get to choose to embody that in yourself first. Those of you looking for love relationships, those of you who are looking for more time or more support, or you want people to recognize what you've done because, you're getting a little bitter because you've given so much away. You get to recognize yourself. You get to hug yourself. You get to love yourself and give yourself that, whatever you're looking for outside of you. Because when you do that, you fill your own cup. You match that vibration. And then guess what? Everyone's going to start reflecting that back to you, because that's what you truly decided to embody. And so that's a big shift from waiting to get it before you feel it. And you've got to feel it before you get it.
Oh my God. Yeah. You just said on something, and I am going to throw that out there, was because, we want to too, like, I want to fix that. I want to help them with that. I want them to realize or make this change.
Or they made me feel. No.
Yeah. Oh no, you chose to feel, that goes back to the 4 agreements, right? You cannot take anything personal. And I don't know how many times I would say that mantra, can't take it personal, can't take it personal. It's not about you. It is not about you. And, but the big thing is, like you said, it's like you ladies, as much as we want to control everyone and everything, we have absolutely none. The only thing we have any control over is ourselves. And that's questionable a lot of times, right?
Yeah.
Especially if you're unaware. So I just want to say what Christine is saying, because I have experienced that when I was also shown about, what, the kid's going to do what he's going to do. You just kind of have to let it go. It's that surrender. It's not giving up on them. It's like, what, they're going to have to play it out. They're going to have to learn on their own. I can't teach it for him. I can't show it for him, because as we all know, because we've all been there, people can tell us over and over, but we, unfortunately, a lot of times have to learn the hard way, as Miss Christine did, right? 2 times.
Yeah.
But it's when you actually do it, when I started to do that of, okay, I did what I could. I did everything they said. I'm going to let go. And now I'm going to give to me. And that would raise my vibration to the point then I was even seeing things around me kind of shift. And then even, hey, do you mind if I go on the bike ride with you? And there was a little point where I'm like, no, it's my bike ride, but but it was an opportunity. It's like, okay, I'm going to share this. And by sharing that energy, like you said, it was like, I actually was still able to, I was like, yeah, go ahead. You can go ahead of me, and I was like back there and I could just feel love. I'm like, wow, this is like kind of ease and flow, right? And it was just like, and then he would ask the next day, can we go again? And I'm like, well, I'm going to have to find my own new activity, but but yeah, just to say that is true. When you do start to embody it and you make it a practice, then it starts to, just like the opposite. We're around people who are like negative energy, and you're like, ooh, feel it in the room, and you just want to leave. So if you're vibrating like that, then it does shift everyone. So I'm going to be doing it. I'm going to set my alarm now, because, getting through the rest of this, the summit here, feeling the little pressure of the everything going and all that, I'm going to give myself some ease and flow. I'll let you know how that goes.
Yes, do it. And like you said, you get to, the overwhelm can come up and it's going to, and you get to
Yes.
give yourself that time to feel it because you don't want it to get locked in your body by pushing it away or not acknowledging it. So
Yeah.
acknowledge every single feeling, feel all the feels. That's what I say.
I
Highest peak is in
love that.
all the
Yes, you
feels,
get.
right? So feel all of the feels.
Yeah.
Then you can choose just for a tiny moment. Say, okay, what am I choosing in this moment? After you've allowed yourself to feel, after what awareness is the beginning of transformation. Okay, I'm aware that I'm feeling overwhelmed and I'm aware that I need a break from these children. Okay, cool. I'm aware of that. Let me go. I'm going to use the bathroom. And
Yeah.
then you take your church finger and you go over to the 1 second. And then you
Yeah.
walk over to the bathroom, close the door, and just sit on the floor and feel the overwhelm and let that, let it move because that's what inner emotions are. They're energy in motion.
Yeah.
And if you allow the motion to just keep going, it's going to dissipate. It's going to move and it's going to move out of the body and not stay locked in the cells and tissues because you haven't stopped it from moving. And so then when you're like, oh my God, okay, get your breath, the life force going in you, some breathing, and then choose just for a minute and say, oh, I would love to experience ease. And don't expect everything like the first time you do it to walk out the door and be like, Christine said, I'm going to feel ease every day. That's what I did that for a whole week. I did it on the weekend. I came back Monday, didn't even realize I was experiencing ease, but I was. And then I had to have like an awareness moment to be like, wow, everything is amazing, right? But it took consistent every hour. You don't have to do that. You could do it 4 times a day. When you brush your teeth, when you go use the bathroom the 2 times or hopefully more, and then how easy would it be for you to say, the kids are like, la, 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 and you're going to say, I'm just going to drink my water. Even in that moment, you can have peace and quiet in a moment of drinking the water. Like it
Just
doesn't even,
breaths.
just take deep breaths. Be in that moment. Are you drinking the water? Ask that water to just nourish you and bring peace and ease into your body. Like there's so many ways that you can have fun with this energy, this magic, these miracles, this mysticisms. You get to have fun with all of this stuff and just use it in your everyday life. And that's why I'm the woo and the do.
Yes, yes, she is the queen of the do and the woo. So there you go. And I love that expression. I've had that on that too, about the feel all the feels, because I am guilty of that, of like, okay, I don't want to feel this. I need to move on. And you just want to feel better. It's like, but you got to feel it. And I've this last month and a half with some real life events that have happened, I've had to like allow myself to cry, and I'm not a crier, and I'm just like, ooh, girl, you have been stuffing that one down for a long time.
But then how did it feel after? Like you allowed yourself to cry. How did it feel after?
Well, after the snot nose and the puffy eyes, I'm like, this is why I don't like crying. But it was honestly, and the headache, because I was like, oh my God, because I can't do it when everybody's around, so I got to leave the house, I'm like leaving the house to go cry. But yeah, it was like almost so tired, and yet at the same time it was like lighter, because I realized how much you just hold on and you think, okay, I can't do this right now.
And then it gets stuck.
Yeah.
And then you got to wait for something else to happen to bring it back up. And then you stuck it again.
Yeah.
And then it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And this is where disease happens.
Yes.
And, we're keeping these emotions stuck in our body and they're not meant to be there. They're just language and they're talking to us and our body's telling us how we feel. And we're meant to feel it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when you're in a relationship, when you're with, it's okay to let people see that. Let people see that you're vulnerable, because that is going to draw you even closer together when you get to say, I'm just feeling, Mommy, are you okay? Saying, Mommy's sad right now.
Yeah.
That allows your child to know that it's okay
Mhm.
for them to be sad. And then it lets them regulate their emotions as well. Like when you make this real and make it something that you do and you don't have to hide it,
Yes.
that is going to allow the world to start shifting to this heart-centric way of being that it's already shifting to on the frequency, but bringing everybody along so that we can move from the place where we do everything in our head and we try to push all the feelings down to where we allow ourselves to truly feel it.
Yeah. And what you just said is so important. And I saw that too as a big shift was, yeah, don't hide it from the kids and your significant other or your team or etc. Like just say, yeah, I'm having a rough one right now and I need a timeout. Like I would tell the kid, I need a timeout, I put the little thing on the door knob and it was like, unless the house is burning or grandpa fell down, it's like, don't knock on the door. Right. And he started to learn. And I would also burn sage. Like when he was like so negative, I'm like, they're smudging him. I'm like, in the whole house. He's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I am cleaning the energy in here. And what happened? He saw me. I was doing my breath work because he knows, we were doing that with the coach, and stuff. And so I was breathing while he's just going off on me. And I was just like smiling and breathing and just not listening and being in my happy place. And then he turned around and he goes, are you okay? And I said, well, I'm just breathing right now because I'm feeling kind of attacked and yelled at right now. It's not very nice. And he goes, maybe you need to go upstairs and burn a leaf. And I'm like, I said, you know what? That is a good idea. I think I will. Yeah.
Yes.
We'll just say there was another leaf I burnt too, but yeah. I'm like, I'm going to burn all the leaves right now. Thank you. And goodbye.
But you see how it's funny because it was like giving you your time to go away.
He gave me permission. I was like, shit, the kid just told me to go upstairs and burn a leaf. I'm going. Yeah, it'd be like me telling him, yeah, you could go outside till the lights are on. He's like, oh. So yes, model that for them because then too, they learn too, I saw him and he said, I think I just need to go up to my room and just lay down. He's like, can you burn me a leaf too? And I was like, okay, I'll go get you a leaf. It's like, okay, because again, the smells and you do that too with the grounding, right? So it's like, all right, I'm feeling that safe. I'm feeling that secure. I'm feeling that cleanliness. So
yes. Oh, this was so good.
Well, thank you, Christine Michelle, for all of your goodness, for all of your, all of your all of that shift, that energy. And that's what you get when you go into her community is just that energy and just like seeing that there is another way. So know that you can have ease and flow, know that it's okay, and actually your responsibility to choose you first. If you want to continue to be around and do for everyone else, you need to do you because only you can do you.
Only you can do you. That's a great way to end it.
Right? From the lady of the do and the woo. So all right, then. Well, thank you. Don't forget to pick up her free gift below and get into her community. And any closing words that you would like to say?
Well, like you said, only you can do you. But remember to feel all the feels. Feel all the feels and take those moments that you need to go to the bathroom. Maybe your kids will be like, wow, mom spends a lot of time in the bathroom. Or, maybe your business, your assistant's like, wow, she is always meditating or something. But just take those moments to yourself, even if it's a minute or two, and you're like, hold on, and make it normal and just say, hey, I'm going to take a few moments to be with my feelings. Because the more you make that normal among you and then let your audience and your group know and let the people who are working for you know, let your family know, you are making it commonplace, and then they feel like you have to be your own leader first. When you acting in an emotional, intelligent way, when you are tuning into how you feel first, then others will be like, wow, that's a really cool way. and they're going to start really paying attention to how they feel. But you've got to be the first one first, just like you've got to choose yourself first, just like you've got to start putting yourself and your health and your well-being first, because you are the example. And when you decide that I'm going to do it differently, then other people see it as an example that they can follow.
And that's a beautiful way to end. So give yourself permission to choose you. And by doing so, you're giving everybody else permission to do the same.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Well, thank you, Christine Michelle, again for all your goodness, and everyone check her out. And if you need to take a little bio break before the next speaker, please do so. Get some tea, stretch out, and maybe, don't forget to go to the bathroom and feel your ease and flow. I'm going to do that now every time I go to the bathroom. Thank you, girl.
Ease.
Ease. All right. And with that, bye. Have a beautiful rest of your never before lived day, and stay happy, healthy, positive. Cheers.